All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Baseball Diaries. This is the Memorial Day weekend episode. Happy Memorial Day to everyone celebrating. I am wearing my Penn State jersey. They just lost, actually, in the Big Ten championship game. They were the 8th seed, so they were the bottom seed in the tournament, went on a pretty good run. Penn State baseball's actually kind of coming up. It's a first-year coach, so good for them. Made it to the tournament final. No one expected them to be there, so good for them. They have some decent players. I don't think anyone's going to get drafted, but Adam Ceceri's pretty cool, so shout out Ceceri if he gets picked up.
With you drinking the Miller Lite on camera, sponsor us, Miller. We'll do it.
We will do it. Shout out Miller Lite. Hell, anyone sponsor us.
Yeah, anyone. Literally anybody.
But yeah, getting straight into news and notes, Ronald Acuna Jr. went down in a heap this morning.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. No, and especially it being a non-contact injury.
Yeah.
You always worry about those, especially with him because he's already torn his ACL. And I mean, as a guy who's had a knee injury, it never feels good. He said he didn't hear a pop. But, like, with a knee, you don't always need to hear a pop for it to be a torn ACL, MCL.
Anything. I mean, I've torn my meniscus, and I had no idea, other than, ow, my knee is hurting.
Yeah.
And then I went, and they were like, yeah, you have a torn meniscus. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
And with him, given his injury history, that's definitely worrying, especially for Braves fans. Like, they haven't been hot at all. I mean, they got like straight up embarrassed by the Pirates in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, we'll get into the Phillies series against the Rockies later, and the Phillies didn't play well either, but because of how the Braves played, it didn't matter at all.
Well, and the Braves this season, they just aren't the world beaters they were last year. They were good, or they've been good, but haven't been great by any means.
Based on standings, they're closer to the Nats than they are to the Phillies.
Yeah.
And that's not something, I mean, neither of us expected that. No one in baseball did.
And I get it. Like, it's a lot of injuries, and which that happens in baseball. That's just how it goes. And unfortunately, they lost Spencer Strider to begin the season. Austin Riley's been on the day-to-day for what seems like a month now.
Yeah, it has been.
They've had a lot of injuries, and Matt Olson is finally starting to come along a little bit, it seems like. But now losing Ronald Acuna Jr., who he wasn't playing near his capability for sure, but at any moment he could have had it click, and we could have been talking about Ronald Acuna Jr. being on pace for 50 home runs again, and we'd be like, well, yeah, he's back again. And seeing this knee injury, that sucks for him. And I was watching it live, and the second it happened, I was like, oh, he's done. I was like, he's done for a long time, because in fact, it just showed on ESPN right now. I mean, the second you saw him literally just put weight on that lead leg, and immediately he just fell. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, and it looked like he was breaking for third and realized he was caught and tried to jolt back to second and just immediately collapsed. And
that's exactly what happened. He tried to steal second, or he was going to steal second, shut it down real quick, and then when he shut it down, his knee didn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
And he walked off the field okay. I mean, but
you can walk on a torn ACL.
I don't know if it's a torn ACL.
I don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate, but like, he's going to need an MRI. He's going to need a bunch of tests. And I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it's something's torn in that knee.
He said, from what he said, it felt like what happened in 2018 with him. And he said he wouldn't be surprised if he misses a month, which if it's a month, that's honestly being very
generous.
Generous, exactly. I don't think
that's a conservative estimate.
Yeah, it's a very conservative estimate. I would be very shocked if it wasn't longer than a month. If it's the whole season, I wouldn't even be shocked at that, honestly.
Yeah, neither would I.
With the way it looked. It looked bad. It looked really bad. Which sucks for Braves fans. I know you're happy when Braves fans suck, but I know you don't like injuries.
No, I don't like injuries. It sucks for baseball as a whole, and I mean,
and Ronald Acuna was one of the most electric players in baseball last year.
Yeah.
Like, if it was not for Shohei Ohtani, he probably is the face of baseball last year.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like a 40-70 season, he established a club that he's probably only going to be a part of for a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, that just sucks for baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
again, never celebrating injuries. In terms of people that deserve this happening to them, we shouted out Chris multiple times last podcast. Chris deserves this. Like, Chris definitely deserves it.
Oh my God.
No, like, no one else I know. Like, Austin doesn't. Neither does what's his name?
I thought you were gonna say a player in baseball, and I was like, oh, maybe Ozuna from the Braves or something like that.
No,
And no, you
Chris deserves
instead,
it.
instead it's a fan of the team.
Yeah, Chris specifically deserves that. All the other Braves fans in chat probably don't deserve it. They're not as insane.
For the people who don't know, Chris is a Braves fan, obviously, and Brennan just wished bad fortunes on a friend of his, a very good friend of his that he's known for a long time.
Yes. Dude, some of the shit he was sending in chat today had you reeling. Like,
that is true. Yeah. He is clinically insane. He's definitely clinically insane.
Like, the fact that he's pushing Tyler to be like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and I already don't have a very good moral compass, and sometimes often I say things that go over my moral compass, and I'm like, hang on. And that's the only reason I know I have a moral compass. Is like, I'll say it, and I'm like, you know what?
I should have let that go. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have not thought of that.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Chris deserves that. Everyone else, my heart goes out to you. That sucks.
Speaking of fans that are in misery right now, Cam. We're gonna go into. He's a Blue Jays fan. Moving on from the Acuna Jr. There have been rumors that Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette might be shopped at the deadline.
Honestly, they should start shopping now. I mean, they just got walked off by the Tigers. I mean, Jordan Romano's stocks are falling as a trade chip already.
I mean, he literally just gave up. He just gave up the walk-off tank in the 9th inning to Matt Vierling, which was a 3-run home run.
Shout out Matt Vierling. Good for Matty V.
He also he had
2 home runs that game.
I was gonna say he had 2 home runs and a double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guy what a day.
What a day. He was a chip we shipped for piece that we shipped for Greg Soto last offseason. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Soto hasn't been bad, so I'm not really mad at it because it's like we got Soto and Cody Clemens, and Cody Clemens has been an electric factory, but Soto, he hasn't actually been bad. Most of the runs he's let score have been inherited runners, and like, what are you gonna do? It's an inherited runner. Like, so, I mean, it's kind of a win-win trade for Dombrowski. Like, I mean, good for the Tigers. They got a apparently extremely productive hitter because Matt Vierling was very hit or miss in Philadelphia, but he's been very good for the Tigers. I mean, 2 homers, a double, walk-off tank against one of the best closers in the game, Jordan Romano. And, I mean, that game was a roller coaster. And, like, you know, Cam is only alive for pure hatred at this point. Like, that's straight up it.
Definitely. Like, all Blue Jays fans, the only reason you're alive right now is just hatred. Like, it's awful.
I mean, Cam is literally strictly hate motivated.
Yeah,
because
he
like all of the messages he was sending about Acuna, I mean that was real hate. Like that was real hate.
he chooses violence daily for sure.
Yeah.
But getting back to the Guerrero Bo Bichette trade, it could be a good time to ship off Guerrero if they're going to completely rebuild. Because right now, for the month of May, Guerrero Jr. is hitting .382 with a .979 OPS.
I saw a mock for him going like his best odds. His first team was actually the Mariners.
I did see that.
I mean, like, okay.
Personally, I hate that.
Well, I mean, like, if you're the Mariners, you need a power bat.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, if I'm the GM, I'm seeing what it would take.
Yeah,
because
I would definitely be picking up the phone.
You got a lot of pitching that you could ship that way and really not hurt your rotation at all.
No, exactly.
And
And
I
I don't
mean,
know
if
what the
I'm the
farm system
Mariners,
looks like for the Mariners.
I mean, hitting wise, it's kind of sparse, but like pitching wise, it's pretty rich. So,
yeah.
especially considering the age of the Blue Jays rotation, I think I'd make that call, no question.
Yeah, and I think it's all determination of with the Blue Jays. Do you think the window is still open or is it closed?
I think it's completely
I know.
closed.
I know you think it's
Like
completely
I've
closed.
said that. I've said
Yeah.
that. You think there's still like a
I'm
sliver,
I
but
think
I don't think there's
but
anything
I'm
there.
definitely leaning much more towards it's closed. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't think
I think you got to blow it all up.
the
If you're
only
the
reason
Jays, you got to blow it all up.
the only reason I don't think it's completely closed is basically Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette. Minus that, it's dead. But the thing is, even if you have Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette at their peak, doing what they can do, what does that do? I mean, you got your
The rest
rotation,
of that lineup is
Kikuchi.
essentially a black hole.
Yeah, the rest of the lineup sucks. You got Kikuchi in the rotation.
George Springer's having like one of the worst seasons of all time.
He's having a horrible season.
I think
right now.
he's second or third to last in terms of qualified hitters with WRC plus.
Jesus, I can look that up really quick because
I think he's 155 out of 157.
For the month of May right now, he is batting 145 with a 380 OPS.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's been rough for him. That's for sure. Rough is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah,
honestly,
because Cam sent that one tweet from, I think it was a Blue Jays fan account called Splitter Aces, because Gosman really has been the splitter guy for forever, and now shit, everyone's throwing one.
Yeah,
but I mean, like
Gosman's not having a good year either.
No, he's not. He's not even. He's not their ace anymore.
No, not even close.
And shit, my bad, Manoah. You were hot, and then you had a blow up.
You killed him. You killed Manoah.
Hey, look, no. Now at least we don't have to address the back thing because no, he's not.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst start of all time, but it wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. No. Shit. Everyone that was on my hot list had a terrible day that day. So
you've been cursing everybody on your hot list.
Yeah, so hey, look, if you're on my hot list, you're now gonna suck. Congrats.
Yep. And if you're on my not list, apparently you're gonna do well because I can't remember who I said was on my not, and then just fucking went off. But there was somebody we talked about it. I don't remember who it was.
Shit happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
George Springer is the 5th worst batter in baseball according to weighted runs created plus.
Yeah, it's over, buddy.
And two of these hitters, I don't even know who they are.
That's not good.
I don't even Sedadane Rafaela. That's
Red Sox center fielder.
Okay. Aloris Montero. I've heard that name. I don't even know where he plays though. Colorado.
He's the Rockies' first baseman. He nearly killed Ranger Suarez today.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, looking at it now, I do really. I'm definitely in the idea of it's over. Gotta restart.
Gotta blow it up. Yeah.
Gotta blow it up. Gotta redo it because otherwise you end up in the Cardinal situation, which is you keep flirting with mediocre.
Yeah.
If you're a Blue Jays fan, that's not what you want. You don't want to keep flirting with mediocre. Blow it up now. Maybe you end up regretting some of these trades. Maybe Vlad Guerrero Jr. goes on and becomes an multi-season MVP winner. But
you got to get the best return now because your two most valuable trade pieces are at the best age you could possibly ship them for.
Yeah, and I believe both their contracts are up next year.
I think so. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know the exact timelines on those contracts, but
he is. Yes, 2026. He's a free agent.
Yeah, so, you got to shop him.
Yeah, you got to shop right now is a great time because you'll get. A huge, especially if he keeps hitting like he is right now. You're getting a haul. Like if you keeps hitting the way he's hitting right now, you're getting a haul.
You got to start picking up the phone and making those calls. Like it's almost like you can't wait.
The thing about that one is,
I don't think you can wait. I don't think you can afford to.
The reason I say, do you wait now? Because if he continues to hit like he's hitting right now and looks like the MVP caliber player he is, you're getting more of a haul at the trade deadline.
You might be, but
you're taking a risk.
I think you start making the calls now.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to ship him now, but I
Yeah.
think you have to start making the calls.
I agree, because like then at the deadline, if he continues to be who he is, you're getting a massive haul for him.
No, absolutely, but I
If he
don't think
subsides and looks like he was
you're still
last
gonna
year,
get pieces because he's
you're gonna
still
get pieces,
young,
but
but
you're not gonna get what you'd want for sure.
no, and that's the thing, because you have close to nothing else. It's
Yeah.
Vladdy and Bo, and that's it.
Literally it.
And I mean, the thing with Bichette, like, because he's been like just okay, like he hasn't been a world beater, but he's been decent enough. You could shop him to teams and say, like, look, he can play second base. You can put him there if you have a good shortstop.
Oh, you're saying
And
Bo?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I thought you
so
were saying Guerrero Jr. at second base. I was like,
oh God, no,
good God,
Jesus,
no.
Jesus
Never.
Christ, no,
He can't play
no,
anywhere but first or DH.
DH,
That's
yeah,
it.
no,
Like,
that's it. And
they tried third, and it was atrocious.
shit, there's a reason he's a first baseman.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I guess that's probably it for the Jays. I mean, after that, you got the red sweep in the Rockies, not the red sweep in the Rockies, the red sweep in the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Jonathan India, after I drop him, decides to hit a grand slam and actually start hitting. I'm done with Jonathan India. You're never seeing my team again. Because, you know what? Whatever. If you saved your season, fuck it. But when you were on my team, you were one of the worst hitters in baseball.
Yep.
Fantasy purposes,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
were terrible. And then immediately hits a grand slam. So, like, you know what? Jonathan India, go fuck yourself. All right?
Oh my God.
You're never going to be a guest on this podcast. Fuck you. Like,
No, regardless of what he just said, if you want to be a guest on the podcast, you're a guest. You're invited. But just know that there might be some animosity
there's
from Brendan.
some animosity. There's animosity here.
Brendan is
You
very
weren't
upset.
helping me, like, at all. You were my second baseman, and you were still worse than anyone else. I mean, like, okay, my other second baseman is Bryson Stott. You're not him.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that one I had no idea how that was even possible, because the Reds were in. I mean,
They
still
were down
technically are in
bad.
free fall. Like,
Yeah,
the Reds are in full free fall.
They were,
And
yeah,
then you decide to sweep the
they're
fucking
literally
Dodgers?
they're in last place right now, and they're 5-5 in their last 10. Like, that they're in last place behind the Pirates, who actively are also free falling. Like, yeah, and then they sweep the Dodgers, which which puts the Dodgers at a 5-game losing streak, which is the longest
for
streak.
second for the longest streak in baseball with the White
Oh yeah,
Sox.
with the White Sox, correct. Which is the longest losing streak they've had since April of 2019, which is mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to me that they haven't been on a 5-game losing streak in 4 years.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Basically 5 years.
It's baseball. That shit happens all the time.
Yeah, I mean, a 5-game, that shit happens. The Cardinals swept the fucking Orioles. Like, it happens. Like, baseball happens. And somehow the Dodgers have remained to not have a 5-game losing streak in 5 years. And what's crazy about that, and I ranted about this because I was on a random tangent one night, and I was like thinking about
you just
how
started
good
going off in my messages and the group chat, and it was like the same thing back to back. And it was like that segment where, like, we have normal conversations in my text, and then you say batshit insane shit in the group chat, and I'm just like, you're normal here. What the hell is going on? But that was like, those two messages were correlated, and I was like, thank God. I'm not experiencing hell right now. Whatever. Fuck it. Like, do whatever. Like,
yeah.
And then
So I go in, like, this is what happens in my brain often. Like, I'll randomly go on a deep dive into baseball out of nowhere. Like, one time it was the Rays bullpen. I went into the Rays bullpen of, like, how did they have a sustainable bullpen for so many years with different pieces? And I was looking at every arm angle that they had for year to year, and I was like, oh, that's how they do it. I'm completely insane if you haven't figured that out yet, especially when it comes to baseball. So the Dodgers, Roki Sasaki has pretty much said he only wants to go to the Dodgers, which Do I believe he's going to look at other teams? Yeah, because he's going to drive up the price. But do I think ultimately he's going to end up with the Dodgers? Most likely.
Unfortunately, yes.
I mean, Ohtani's contract is backdated for 10 years, so he's getting $2 million this year, or next year. So that means they're going to have a great opportunity to sign Sasaki. And that means their rotation could be Yamamoto, Sasaki, they get Ohtani back, Tyler Glasnow, and then either Miller, Bueller, or Kershaw. And then if you add to the bullpen, so then they're also going to get Tony G back, Dustin May, and then you're adding to the bullpen either Bueller, Miller, or Kershaw, or two of them. That is just batshit to me. And it's basically going to be the same fucking lineup. Like, I looked up all the contracts. They're losing nobody. Like, minus, like, Teoscar Hernandez. And do you think he could re-sign with them? Yeah. Like, definitely could, because I don't think a team's really going to be all that much in on him. But the Dodgers have enough to where they'll just platoon him like they've been doing.
Yep.
So, I said it earlier. I was talking to my dad before the season started. I was like, look, the Dodgers this year are good. What they're going to be next year...
They're going to be better.
...is going to be stupid. Like, I jokingly said it before the pod, and it's probably... I mean, not probably. It won't ever happen. But I said they could go 162-0, which, again, that'll never happen. But I genuinely do think they could put the Mariners' win record in jeopardy next year.
No, they definitely could.
Like, that's...
They're the team that has the potential to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that. I mean, my God, Yamamoto, who right now has a 3.3 ERA because he actually gave up 4 earned runs yesterday, I think, 2 days ago.
I think so. Yeah.
Then Sasaki, who throws 100 miles an hour and is 22 years old.
Yeah.
Ohtani, who we all know what he can do as a pitcher. Glasnow, who is currently having his best season ever. And then Miller or Bueller or Kershaw, who Kershaw has the lowest ERA in the live ball era, even with a couple seasons of being hurt and not being in the league as much. So it's just, I cannot believe that this team is going to be insane next year.
No, it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be if I was any other team in the West, I would literally just consider rebuilding right now, because right now
probably should.
Right now, if you're the Giants, the Giants, the Padres, or the
D-backs,
your only chance is a wild card spot next year. In the next at least,
and that's
probably
fine.
5 years.
That's fine. You're not going to win a division title, and
no.
I mean the Dodgers have always been. I mean, I'm not going to say serial chokers, but like they have. That's essentially what they are in the playoffs. They've won World Series in this already dominant era. Has been that, I'm going to say it, Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah.
Like, because what else have you done? You've had these great teams, and you're still booing fucking Jock Peterson at home games
for no reason. Like,
you didn't offer him. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say he wasn't going to come back.
Yeah. I feel like every year for probably the last basically 20 years, I've been like, man, the Dodgers roster this year is insane. And they keep getting better. And you're just like, I mean, all the way back in the days of when it was Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Yu Darvish, you're like, man, that rotation was insane. And they just keep getting better and not winning World Series.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy to me. Like, they've basically, they've tried to do what the Yankees did with the Evil Empire and miserably failed. Like, and do they have, and am I saying it's failed completely? No, because it looks like for the next 5 years at least, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is why we got to saw off California.
Yeah, I agree.
Get rid of it. California, we're going to revoke your statehood. We're going to give it to D.C.
Or Puerto Rico. I'm down with Puerto Rico.
Either or. Just as long as California is no longer part of it.
So after that, after my rant of going off on a random tangent, on a Sunday or on a Thursday night after bar prepping for 8 hours.
I haven't done shit today.
I didn't do anything today. Today was my day off.
It's Memorial Day, dude. Like, screw it.
Yeah,
Come
tomorrow
on.
I'm going to be back to it, but today I took a day off.
Yeah.
After that, the Brewers and the Red Sox had a benches clearing today incident when the Boston reliever Chris Martin and the Brewers' first base coach started jawing off to each other. Didn't get it. Punches weren't thrown, nothing like that. But it's weird because the first base coach for the Brewers used to play for the Red Sox. Like, yeah, yeah. It was
Okay,
really
yeah,
weird.
that is weird.
It was weird, especially because, like I said, no punches were thrown. But basically, what happened was Christian Yelich hit a ground ball to first base. Chris Martin goes to cover first base, throws the ball, and I guess they had some words exchanged between each other, and
Okay.
it cleared the benches. I don't understand it, but like, I'm gonna propose
Yeah,
this
that's
question for
bizarre.
you: Are the Brewers the new bad guys in baseball? Because this is like the third.
I think they've had the most benches clearing incidents in baseball this year.
I think they have too. Like,
Hey, look,
weird.
I mean, because I know that they had a couple with the Mets because I mean,
They did.
look, all right,
They
so
did.
I understood that one because Reese obviously is there now, and Reese
Yeah.
hates the Mets, so that made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, they might be.
Yeah, are they
Shit, I
like?
mean, cool. No, I love
Which, if the Brewers are the
attitude, like,
bad boys
but
in baseball, that's a weird bad boys in
that it's a
baseball
weird.
scenario.
You're from Milwaukee, like, but
Yeah, like it's a weird one. Like,
yeah, that is a weird one.
it's just kind of like they're.
It's
It's
not a
supposed to be
city
the
you
friendly
expect it from.
Midwest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're supposed to be the friendly team. Like,
yeah, the friendly
I,
Midwest teams. Like, if it'd been like the Cubs, okay, Cubs, like it's Chicago,
yeah,
St. Louis
Chicago.
even, but St. Louis has a history of being like just very passive teams. Like, there's very rare that like I'd
Philadelphia
say
makes sense. Like,
Exactly, Philly makes sense. New York makes sense clearly.
yeah,
Um, Even the Padres kind of make sense just because of the team that they have right now with
yeah.
Manny Machado and
It's like an East Coast attitude kind of
Tatis.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like, it's a very they got some attitude, but like the Brewers,
yeah.
like,
That
you guys
one's
are supposed to be
bizarre.
the nice boys. Like, no, but
Yeah,
they're
you're supposed to be the nice guys from Wisconsin that offer everyone like
cheese.
beer or cheese. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
you're the Brewers. Like,
yeah. But hey, I guess they're the bad boys in baseball right now.
I guess so. All right, whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
cool, fun, whatever. It's
yeah.
not something that people expect, but it's fun.
It is fun, and I like it because it's in my division. I like some rowdiness in the division.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to the Cardinals' passive attitude, where it's like the only time period that I can think of when the Cardinals were the bad boys in baseball were when Bob Gibson was pitching, because Bob Gibson threw at everybody for no good reason. In fact, do you know the story? There's a
I
story
know
about
exactly what story you're
yeah,
going to bring up. I know
Bob
exactly
Gibson.
that story. Yeah.
A guy hit a home run off Bob Gibson in his last outing ever. He stopped retired from baseball. He goes on to play in a men's league baseball game, and he drills that batter
That
for hitting a
same
home run
guy.
off him.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like 10 years later. Like, it wasn't
Like
like
that's a grudge. Like that is a grudge.
which, if anybody has ever shown they have a grudge, it is Bob Gibson. I mean, people were always like, I thought it was funny. I saw a documentary. It was Fastball. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
By the Nolan Ryan. Well, not Nolan Ryan, but it's all fastball related.
Yeah.
And Bob Gibson was like, I don't understand. Everyone thought I was an angry guy. He's like, but I didn't have glasses and like I couldn't see very well, so I had to squint all the time. I'm like, or it's because you drilled everybody. Like, if a batter looked at you funny, you were like, ear hole. Like,
Yep. What?
like that time, and then the Cardinals in during the Whitey Herzog era, they were kind of the bad boys in baseball a little bit for
Yeah.
sure. Other than
I mean,
that, they've always been the nice guys.
you know what? You said rowdiness, and this reminded me of something else. We didn't include in news and notes. Rowdy Tellez talking about how he said, "Oh, grow up," about the booing, like in the same.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so one, you're just not built for like the big stage, like immediately already.
No.
And then I saw the like codify thing of the pitch he took.
Yeah.
It was a down the dick fastball at
Yep.
95. It's like, oh, that's a hittable pitch. You just took
Very
it.
hittable. Yeah.
The fuck are you complaining about? Dude, I would have been much worse to you if you took that as strike 3. Like
If that happened in Philly,
that was your looking last strike. Dude, you would never have played again in that fucking city.
If that had been in Philly, God, you crucified. Or in New York, crucified in New York. Absolutely crucified.
It's like, dude, what are you complaining about? You took a pitch you definitely could have crushed for no fucking reason. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know if you just didn't see the guy or something like that. Whatever. But complaining about the fans booing, they have a right to boo. They bought
Yep.
tickets. They wanted to see you guys win. They didn't want to see you take a strike three looking down the dick. Like, that's not what they're paying you for. Jesus. Like,
Also,
shut up about booing. Oh my god, grow the fuck up.
not only moving on from that a little bit, but it was not in news and notes, but I wanted to talk about it anyways because it just brought I thought about it for bad boys in baseball. Bryce Harper. So most ejections among active players. Bryce Harper has 21.
Yeah, I know.
The next closest is Tim Anderson at 9.
I know.
Like,
Okay,
what?
the
last one was BS. The last
it
one was
w-
BS. Complete
because
BS.
I mean, okay, so the guy's like a call-up umpire, whatever. Brian Walsh, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was.
He's a AAA umpire, so it's like this isn't a guy who's like regular in the show, but like he already called one Phillies game this year before that one, and he missed 26 calls.
Oh, good.
Yeah, great for
As
umpires.
if it can't get worse than umpires currently.
Great look for you guys already. And then you toss Bryce in the top of the first.
Yeah. After all he asked was, "Is that
where did you have
that?" Yeah. All he asked was, "Where'd you have that?"
And
then
your answer was, "Eh."
Yeah. He just kind of laughed and shrugged, and he's like, "No, I want to know, like, in, out,
like,
up, down."
Yeah, it's like what's your strike
so
zone?
I can judge. Like,
yeah.
I can judge where it was, and then he gets,
like,
and he just, and
can
literally
I take
all Harper asked with the follow up was like, "No, I want to know where that was."
Yeah, it's like,
and
then
where'd you immediately tossed, and it was like, what? You can't toss somebody for just asking where it is.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, last night, he was the third base umpire, and Bryce hit a homer in the 9th inning. We scored 6 in the 9th and won that game. And Bryce gave like a really, like, kind of a sly smirk, rounding third, looking right at him.
I'm not gonna lie. If I was Bryce, I might have got tossed a second time.
Yeah,
like,
and he was just
I might have. After that home run, I probably would have stared him down the entire time.
Well, because he listed a bunch of guys after that game.
Yeah.
Said, Tom Payne, Pat Hoberg,
yeah,
even Vic Carapazza. He said you can have that conversation with him. I guess this guy's just not a professional. He said, I guess 120 is just not like that.
Get it. Yeah.
And I was like, I love that.
it's just wrong. It was wrong. The umpire's in the wrong in this one, 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, if a batter draws a line where he thinks the ball crossed, I get it. Toss him, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're asking, where did you have that? That is the most objective.
That's
like,
part
hey,
of
I
your
just want to
job.
know. Yeah, I just want to know, what's your strike zone look like?
It's like, I'm gonna have more at bats in this game. I want to know what the strike zone is. Like, if I can't take that pitch, fine, I'm gonna swing at it.
Yeah, but if I don't know if I know it's a ball or like if I know it's a strike, okay, now I know is that.
And if someone is gonna know what the strike zone, it's fucking Bryce Harper.
Well, and then not only that, if you have any questions about the strike zone, the person you ask is the umpire.
Yeah,
like,
because
the person you ask
he's
is
the one
umpire.
calling it.
And you can even ask other questions. Does that do you have another couple inches outside? Do you have another couple inches high? Do you have is that the end? Like, does it go further out? And that's a valid question. Like, every time. Like, doesn't make sense that he got tossed for that. And yeah,
whatever, shit happens.
It is, and I'm sure Harper will get ejected more this season. Even.
Oh yeah, he probably will.
He
always has. He's always good for a couple.
He's always good for a few a season. That's for sure.
Again, guy was made for Philadelphia.
He was made for Philly. Born in Las Vegas. Somehow, us Las Vegas boys do well in Philly for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. I saw the thing earlier this week. It was, completely unrelated to baseball, but it was like, where are you vacationing this year? Pennsylvania. Everyone picked Las Vegas. I was like, or where would you want to vacation? I was like, and Las Vegas people picked Philadelphia, and I was like,
this is
look, man.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
And it's weird because I think it's because Vegas, it's known for its high class, everything like that. Like, everything's super rich. But what the people who run that, who make that function every day, are blue collar people. All of them. They're all very blue collar individuals. So when you get a bunch of blue collar individuals, are they going to be more like the West Coast where it's all Richie Rich, or are they going to be like Philadelphia where it's all blue collar? It's probably going to be a lot more like Philly.
Yeah.
Like most likely, and that's why I think Vegas boys do well in Philly. In fact, Bryce Harper's dad does the same, or did the same thing that my dad used to do. He owned a pool cleaning business. So interesting.
Societal
Is it related?
breakdowns with the Baseball
No.
Diaries.
Yes, we break down society here.
Yeah.
So with that, want to move into our teams?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, your games have been like a lot of rain right now. I mean, you've only got one in your series with Chicago. So, I mean, I'll just break down the Phillies one.
Yeah.
We haven't had a lot of success in Coors Field recently. I mean, the series we won last year was the first we'd won in Coors since 2013. I don't know why. It's just somewhere we struggle. We have a couple ballparks like that. Like Oracle is another one. So I'm really not expecting a lot from this road trip via like just history. Like, I mean, shit, as the court would say it, since we're both JDs now, history and tradition. We don't do well here. Like, so I mean, if we take 2 against San Fran, so be it. I don't really care. Like, we still have the best record in baseball. I'm not really. It's very strange saying that, considering where we were last year. We were not in a good spot last year, and now we're at the best spot in baseball. And I'm just like, I get pissed off after losses, sure, but I'm also like, this doesn't ruin my week right now.
Yeah,
it's a weird feeling. But yeah, no, the Rockies actually.
Well, and Ranger had his worst start ever today.
Yeah,
well,
Ranger
ever,
was bad.
this
Well,
season.
I mean, like, he still went 6.
He did go 6, but he did give up 4 earned runs, had 4 walks, which is not like Ranger.
Yeah, it wasn't like Ranger. It wasn't a Ranger start. Yeah, he got his first loss. Yeah, so no.
Dang it, no 12-0.
Yeah, no 12-0.
I wanted that so bad.
I wanted to make that meme so bad, but
I wanted that.
But you know, I mean, shit happens. Yeah, dude, you're never gonna go perfect in a major league season as a pitcher. No. But I did want the 12-0 thing. But
the 12-0 would have been sick.
It would have been sick. We had a plan. If Ranger went 12-0, we were gonna put him on Marty Daniels from Blue Mountain State. For
12-0.
I think I was gonna put him on Moran instead, just because like Marty talking to Moran.
Yeah.
And I would have put Rob on Marty.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. I was like, that would have been funny.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, shit happens. You can't win every game. You lose one series to the Rockies. It's the first series we lost since the one against the Reds in April. So, I mean, I'm not losing.
One series a month. I think you're all right.
Yeah, I think we're all right. We're 18-5 in May. I think I'll be okay. It's whatever. The offense wasn't great in Coors, and again, this is still without Trey Turner. And Trey he came in a little sore today because he picked up his running.
Okay.
And so, I mean, that's just like a little side note. Like, Trey, he'll be back, but Edmundo's still been producing. So,
yeah.
I mean, look, you're getting production from bench players. You're still capable. You still have the highest runs per game scored in MLB. Your starters have all been good. It's nothing really to complain about. You lose a series to the Rockies in Coors Field.
This is the first time I think I've seen non-complaining Brendan. Even last episode, he was complaining about fucking Whit Merrifield.
Whit was actually pretty decent this series. I can't complain about him. Like, he wasn't terrible. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, fuck it. Like, especially with the Braves losing a series to the Pirates and then Acuna going down, I'm like, you know what? Shit's kind of going my way. I can't really be that mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're all right. I think so far it looks like I think the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. Just saying.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Shit, the two teams I hate the most, the Braves have had so many struggles this year, and the Mets have lost 22 of 31. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. I mean, shit, Gary Cohen was reading like an obituary last week, so fuck it.
Yep.
I'm doing okay.
I think you're all right.
Yeah. So I mean, I really don't have many news. Like the game last night was really exciting. Like, we were down and then came back in the 9th. That was cool. Today we sucked. I'll brush it off. I was pissed off earlier, and now I'm like, I'm several beers deep. I'm doing okay. We haven't gotten to the relationship breakdown yet. We're getting to that later in the episode.
It had to get cut last episode.
It did have to get cut last episode. We went a little too deep last episode.
Yeah, that might have been my fault.
We're not going that deep. We are going to do some kind of relationship breakdown, though.
Relationship breakdowns. We got everything on the Baseball Diaries. We got baseball. We got
therapy.
We've got relationship advice. We got everything here.
We're doing societal breakdowns. I mean, what's not to love?
You should basically have a sociology degree after you listen to our episodes.
Yeah. Hey, any university, Penn State. You want to give me a sociology degrey? I'll take it.
I'll take it.
All right, get into your rained out Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals were rained out for Game 1. It's currently raining like hell in St. Louis. I don't know because I'm not in St. Louis, but I saw it on the TV. So they're currently delayed for their Game 3 and possibly going to be rained out for Game 3. But Game 2 was fun. Game 2, Cardinals beat the Cubs 7-6. We had a Matt Carpenter clutch single to tie up the game, which I remember I'd be saying that in the year of 2024.
I remember the group chat going in on that, and like, what the fuck is Matt Carpenter doing at the plate?
Well, here's the thing. Matt Carpenter, as much as I hate him, he's a clutch hitter. Like, he's got a clutch gene. He's always had a clutch gene. I'm going to look it up right now because I'm pretty sure his batting average with bases loaded is above 500.
That's insane.
Over his entire career. And he's been in bases loaded situations a lot.
Yeah, he has
insane. Like, you just can't, I don't know why, but the only time you want Matt Carpenter up is bases loaded or you need a game-tying hit. It's the only time ever. Like, other than that, he's awful. But for some reason, he's got bases loaded. He's hitting, bases loaded, 444 with a 1.122 OPS. Yeah. It gets even crazier. So then, with runners on second and third, 1.049 OPS. Runners on first and third, 882 OPS. Runners on first and second, 804 OPS. Runner on third, 925 OPS. And then runner just on second, 789 OPS. And a runner on first, 811 OPS. With runners on, he has an 847 OPS. Runners in scoring position, 870 OPS. Over his entire career.
That's ridiculous.
It's like, how? Like, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, 857. Late and close ball games, 805 OPS. Tie games, 809 OPS. Yeah, it's
that's ridiculous.
It's insane. His clutch. Like, I understand that, like, you can't really break it down. His career in a high leverage situation is 816 OPS.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like, I cannot break it down. I don't know how, like, why.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because otherwise he literally has a career OPS of, let's look. He has a career OPS of 817. I actually did not think it would be that high, honestly.
Probably all those clutch hits that he gets that raises it. So
it's the only thing that does it.
Look, that's fine. I mean, look, if you need a clutch hit, apparently Matt Carpenter's your fucking guy.
Matt Carpenter's the guy. Yeah, apparently. But after the Matt Carpenter clutch single to tie the game, Brendan Donovan hits a clutch single to put the Cardinals up by 2, and then Newt Barr hits a triple to put the Cardinals up by 3, making it 7-4. Cubs score a couple runs in the ninth inning, which I don't love because it was against Helsley, but he ended up locking it down anyways. And like I said, currently it's supposed to be Javier Assad versus Sonny Gray, and it turns out I doubt we're gonna get it. Honestly, it looks like it's raining like crazy. Like, oh my god, I'm looking at rain coming in the dugout right now, and it looks like
flood conditions in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I highly doubt that they play tonight.
Yeah,
very much highly.
Well, you can't get them all in.
Hey, but if they don't play today, Cardinals take the series. 1-game series against the Cubs.
1-game series against the Cubs, and they win.
Look, as long as the Cardinals win against the Cubs, it's a good day.
Oh, yeah. The only time I ever cheer for the Cubs is when they're playing the Braves.
Yeah, the only
But one
time
of
I
my
cheer for the
one of
Cubs
my
is never.
one of my close friends is a Cubs fan. I was happy for him when they won the World Series because I was like, you know what? I've already seen a World Series. You got this.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I felt bad at that point. I was like, Jesus, it's been how long? Like,
yeah. When when people, when multiple generations have died, and you haven't won a World Series, it's
I
kind of like,
felt
okay,
pretty bad. Like there was
yeah,
an ounce of sympathy in me. I was like, I know more Cardinals fans than I know Cubs fans, and I was just like normally I think I'd have to hate you, but like also
look,
shit.
even as a Cardinals fan, that when they won that World Series, I was happy for them because I was like,
Yeah,
man,
I was like,
it's been
you know
so
what?
long.
Yeah, I was like,
Like,
I can't hate it
no,
just on normal standards. Like
yeah,
like when the Mets lost the World Series the year before, I was really happy. I was like, I don't want them to ever see joy. But I was like, I remembered they haven't won a World Series since what, 86 now? And I'm
yeah.
like, this is great. You're the only National League East team that hasn't won a World Series in the 21st century. This is amazing. I love that so much. I actually have a copy pasta like in my
Yeah,
notes app.
86 was their last World Series win.
I have a copy pasta in my notes app.
Uh,
It's like for $19.86 a day, you can help Mets fans seek therapy. I'm just like, I hate that team so much. So I'm like, I can hate on you all day. Like, I don't care how bad you are. I remember I was hate watching them during the 2022 playoffs, and it was Jesus in like my friend's apartment, and he's a Mets fan, and I was watching Musgrove do the
yeah.
the thing to the dugout, and I was like, I love this guy. It's like I have no reason to love this guy, but I love this guy.
Jesus. All right. After that, might as well get into AL because like there's nothing more to talk about with the
The
Cardinals.
Mariners suck. Congrats. That's it. The AL West is terrible.
True. True. Um.
What are they? 27 and 26 now. They dropped the series to the Nats. Kirby pitches like a fucking mongrel, which I hate because like I love George Kirby, but oh my Jesus Christ, dude. Stop filling up the zone when you're only throwing fastballs. Like his fastball usage is probably close to 50% at this point.
I think we did it. Yeah, we did it
We
last
did it
episode.
last episode, and I'm just like, Jesus, dude, you're not using any of your breaking pitches, so no one's
Actually, his
even
fastball percentage went down.
that that almost pisses me off more because it's like, what are you doing? You're throwing breaking stuff in the
Well,
zone now?
what
Because
it,
he's just leaving shit in the zone, and it's getting tattooed.
pretty much what he's doing. It's. I mean, I said when I said it went down, it was his four seamer that went down. I think his sinker actually went up.
Okay,
I don't
so
remember what it
trying
was
to
last
induce
time.
ground balls, fine, whatever. But dude, you have stuff like his stuff plays at every level. Like you could induce a lot of chase if you started throwing pitches out of the zone. I don't care if you throw a slider in the zone to set up a slider out of the zone, but you have to accept that you are not going to get chase on every pitch, and you just have to get the chase because he's not getting it right now.
Yeah,
He's just not.
he's
And
definitely not getting it right now. I mean, like so when we started the season, we were saying that George Kirby was kind of getting screwed by just unluckiness, but his expected numbers are coming up. He's up to
well,
a
yeah,
3.63 ERA or expected ERA, 2.48 batting average against, which is not
because
great.
all he does is throw in the zone. And it's
Yeah,
like, dude, I know you hate walks. Fine. Fucking whatever. I don't like walks either. But Jesus, dude,
you got to
if
get
you're
some
getting
chase. You got to
fucking
get some chase.
tattooed, you've got to pitch out like you have to elevate the fastball, you have to throw the slider out of the zone. Like if you're throwing a slider in the zone to a right-handed hitter or even a lefty, I don't give a shit. You have to throw it like back foot or down and away more to get that chase, and he's just not doing it.
Well, and also when you're not, if you're gonna not throw it for a strike, or I'm sorry, if you are gonna throw it for a strike, you've got to
It,
mix it in. You got to mix in the slider for a strike. You don't
yeah,
just like I'm not
because
just going to keep going fastball up, slider away. It's like yeah, now you know. Okay, slider every time I throw it, it's away, and you know where the fastball is going to be.
yeah, because his fastball is like, all right, his location has always been really good. And that's fine because like he has power stuff and he can overpower you, but if you're throwing the slider and Jesus, this is what pisses me off because like it seems like it's such an easy fix because like dude, when you're pitching in the show, like what do you do to set up a right-handed hitter? Like if you have him not even 2 strikes, if you have him 1 strike, like what I typically do is I put a slider down and away to a righty,
Yeah,
but in the zone to set up a slider further
off the
outside
zone.
the
Yeah.
zone
Mm-hmm.
because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean,
And he's just not he like if you're
he's
not
becoming
doing that,
predictable. Like it's
yes.
and batters will
And
figure
that's
you out.
fine. He's 25. So like
Yeah,
yes,
he can
you're
figure it
still
out.
learning to pitch, but you have to set up your breaking pitches. And this is the thing that's confusing the hell out of me right now because like the Phillies lost a series and I'm more mad about the fucking Mariners right now. Like you have to like with the stuff he has, you should not be getting tattooed.
No, 100% agree. He should
Like
not be
you
getting
have like
shelled by any
six,
means.
7 pitches, and none of it's playing effectively because you're not pitching. Like again, I'm not a pitching coach. I'm not trying to tell George Kirby how to pitch, but he's not pitching effectively. Like you're
Yes.
not pitching like a number 2.
Yeah. I mean,
Because if like we said at the beginning of the beginning of all of this is probably like episode 1 shit. We've talked about how good the Mariners rotation is
yeah.
and how it should be like everyone's number 1 choice because they're so deep. And like yes, their offense sucks balls, right? Like their offense is terrible.
Yeah, atrocious.
Julio kind of heated up this week.
He's
So
starting to heat up a little bit, yes.
yeah, but and great for him. But what the hell are you doing if your pitching staff starts to fall off because your
Yeah.
pitching staff hasn't been stellar aside from essentially a week and a half? And it's like,
Yeah.
what is your pitching
And
coach doing that
and
is
I'm looking right now,
negating it?
and I'm looking at it right now. Even Luis Castillo, his expected numbers before he got shelled at the beginning of the season. Expected numbers said it should come back up. His expected numbers have dropped dramatically. He's up to
It
up to
makes
a
you think that they're
3.70 expected ERA, 2.49 or expected batting average against, and then the FIP is a 3.68 for his 3.31 ERA. So not crazy different, but enough to where it's like
you're starting to think like, what are they doing?
something's going on. Yeah.
Because it's like with their staff, expected numbers should never be a problem.
No.
Never.
No.
And now, again, these are professionals. I know that their coaches are very good at what they do, but I'm also like, how in the hell are you getting like rocked almost every start at this
Yeah,
point if
especially
you're the
when it's
Mariners staff? Like Kirby should not have above a 3.3
yeah,
because of his stuff. Like
and same
a
with Castillo.
3.3, I think like if I'm going through that Mariners staff, I would say the top 3 should all have sub 3s,
Yes.
like minimum, because it's like with the Philly staff. The one thing I love so much about the Philly staff, Wheels. Wheels has not the exact same pitching repertoire as Kirby, but
But
it's
it's
pretty
similar.
similar.
It's very
It's
similar.
almost the same stuff. But you know what Wheels doesn't do? He doesn't leave everything in the zone.
No. And Wheels also plays off his other pitches very well. He does
Yeah.
dominate with the fastball, but he throws that splitter, he throws that slider, he throws throws the curveball, and just he plays it off of that. And that's why he gets so many swing misses on the fastball because he's playing it off of all of his other pitches.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, there's this one podcast I listen to. Shout out to this podcast. It's High Hopes with Jack Fritz and James Seltzer. They're really good. Look, I know we don't have a ton of listeners, but if you're into the Phillies, check them out. They're really good. Wheels fastball has so much life on it that he can live up in the zone and not get tattooed.
Well, and the thing is, he doesn't though, because I'm looking at it right now at his Baseball Savant. A majority of his fastballs, yes, are up in the zone, but he also has red on the outside black low half, and like so he's moving it around. Like, and
Yeah,
you got to,
because
like, you have to.
you have to, and that's the thing with Wheels. Like Wheels is a lot older than Kirby. Like Wheels is
Yes,
33,
yes,
Kirby's 25. And with guys that have similar repertoires, you expect like, yeah, Wheels is more mature. He knows where to pitch and how to get guys out probably more effectively. And that is true. But if you have similar stuff, you should be trying to play your game. Like if I'm Kirby, I don't know who his favorite pitcher is of all time. I don't. But if I'm George Kirby, I'm watching every Wheeler start and I'm trying to copy him. Like straight up just exact because their repertoires are so similar.
they are.
And
And I wouldn't say exactly copy him, but I'd say take note. Like,
yeah,
notice
like
that Zach
just
Wheeler and you have very similar pitches
because
and very similar arm angle, everything. They're very similar pitchers.
do you
You're
know
just a
who
lot younger.
yeah,
Like,
do you know who Wheels credits most of his success to?
who?
DeGrom.
Yeah.
Because he pitched with him, he said
Yes, and he learned a
his
lot from
mechanics
DeGrom.
are
They're
almost
very
the
similar.
exact same.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the way I locate pitches and where I throw them and what count I throw them in, it's like a lot of it's tailored to how Jake would throw his.
Yeah.
Because
He's
if you
one of the
know you
greatest of all
can
time.
if you know you can dot a fastball on the outside corner to get ahead, do it and then make them chase.
Exactly.
Because you need like getting ahead is super important. Not walking guys is great, but if you walk a guy, what can you start with next pitch? You got a guy on first. You can start a sinker away, and if he grounds into a double play, you're automatically out of it.
Yeah. Or if you, let's say they take the sinker away, then you throw the splitter right off top of that, and good luck. Like, if you
Because now
make
you're
contact
looking
with it,
fastball,
yeah,
and you're swinging at a ball that just drops out from under
yeah,
you.
you're either going to swing over the top of it, or you're going to get even more unlucky, and you're going to ground right to shortstop or the third
Yeah.
base. Like,
and you're still going to get a double play.
yeah,
And that's the
exactly.
thing. Like that's what you have to tailor your pitching repertoire to, especially if it's similar to like some guys who are certifiably elite.
Yeah. Yeah. And have been doing it for a decade now. Like,
yeah. It's like Wheeler at this point right now, because Strider's out, is essentially I'm going to call him the best pitcher in the game because like he just is.
Yeah, I would say like if you're
based purely on stuff, not by numbers.
No,
like stuff wise.
Not even just. I think there's some argument, but regardless, I would say he's definitely the front runner for NL Cy Young. Like they're like easily the front runner.
It's like who if you have a Game 7 right now, who do you want going? I want Wheels. Like,
you think
like Game 7 of the World Series, like active pitchers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think I mean, right now I'd obviously go with Shoto Minaga, but like that's because he's been fucking electric. But I also don't
Shoto's been insane.
Yeah, but
you also haven't seen him in the playoffs.
Exactly, and
like you've seen Wheels in the playoffs, and Wheels has the like lowest WHIP and ERA amongst like all playoff starts so far.
He's I would, and not that, and also just because Wheeler.
No, it's not disrespect if you say someone else. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like
no, I know. I'm just trying to. I'm honestly trying to think like who, if there's anybody else I would think of right now. I mean, honestly, I don't think so. Purely based on stuff and just consistency, because it's like, yeah, I could go with Shoto and be like, yeah, he's been the best player in baseball, but he's only been doing it for 2 months. Like, Wheeler's has been a Cy Young caliber pitcher for at least 5 years now.
Yeah. I still think he was robbed against Corbin, but
I do that one. I agree with. He definitely. I completely agree with that one. I think that was I remember that one very vividly, and I was like, that was highway robbery because Wheels had like 30 more innings pitched, and that just does something. Whenever a pitcher has that many more innings pitched, if their ERAs are within point 0.3 to 0.5, I'm going with the guy who has more innings pitched, in my opinion.
It shows longer consistency.
Yes, I mean, because I think in today's game, pitchers that go deep into ball games are getting undervalued at an insane rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absurd to me that they are, because the best team in baseball right now is the Phillies. Do you know what team in baseball has double the amount of pitchers that have gone 7 innings or more in baseball games? Starting
The
pitchers,
Phillies.
the Phillies, exactly. They have
We have
double the
18.
next team.
We have
Yeah,
18 of those right
and they
now,
have
and
double the next best team.
we had 34 last year. We're
Yep.
we're well on our way to breaking our own like starts record of last year, and we're in fucking May.
Yeah, and that's what I personally hate that like the bullpen's getting used at such an insane rate because I think what it does is it taxes your bullpen throughout the entire season, and then eventually by the end of the season, your bullpen is shot because they've been
Yeah,
going every other day for the entire season. And then you get in the playoffs and it's like, yeah, they've been going every other day for the entire season. Well, the Phillies have a guy who's going to go 7 innings, might even go a complete game in the playoffs, give the bullpen an entire rest day now, and now they're fresh for game 2. Or
and you got
next,
guys coming out of the bullpen and are throwing 98 to 102,
yeah,
and it's like, oh well, I mean he's only pitched what, maybe 50 innings all season. He'll be good.
yeah. And that's why I think it's so crucial to have pitchers that go deep into ball games and
Yeah, because
continue to give the rest to that bullpen because they can't go every single day. You just can't.
yeah, no, you can't, and that's the thing. That's why people have off days and on days. And like the thing is that I love this about the Phillies. And like, yes, we have had like this is a very long tangent about pitching in general, but
Yes.
I actually do love that.
Yep.
We're talking like every single interview that starters give after games, even if it's not been a great start, they talk about, like with Caleb Cotham, and this is why I love our pitching coach, Caleb Cotham. He is so good. And he's the reason that a lot of our guys throw splitters and cutters now, because like if you can get ground outs, you are going to be more efficient in X, Y, and Z situation. And he's pretty much changed our entire pitching staff's like layout.
Yeah.
And all of our pitchers say, if we go 7, you only really need to ever use 2 guys.
Exactly.
Because our offense is going to score for us. That's a
Yep.
sure thing. But if we go 7 minimum, we can save our bullpen for when it matters in October. And Nola said that last start. Well, not the most recent one, but the one before.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's our job. Like we
Yes.
want to save the bullpen. Like these
And
are our guys, and we want them to be fresh for when it really fucking matters.
and me as a pitcher personally, like when I started a ball game, my intention was to throw the first pitch and the last pitch of every game.
Mm-hmm.
Every game I ever stepped on the mound, my intention obviously it didn't happen every time. In fact, it happened way less than it ever did happen that I pitched through the first pitch and the last pitch. But that's your intention. Your intention every time is to get out there, throw the first pitch, and throw the last pitch of that ball game. And that happens so rare in today's game. And I think it needs to be valued more. Also, side note, I'm watching there on ESPN. They have the Tennessee Alabama game for softball on right now. Pitcher for Tennessee, hit me up because you're amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Random tangent. Over. I was listening to you talk, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, she is gorgeous. And also, she can pitch her ass off, apparently, because Tennessee's ranked 3rd in the country.
Hell yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
If you're throwing junk and you play for Tennessee, hit Tyler up.
Yeah. I'm sure this will work. Could you imagine?
That would be funny as shit. I would lose it.
Even if it was like, hey, asshole, stop watching our games, I'd be like, you know what? The fact that you even
That's a DM.
That's a win. Like, even if it was the worst shit ever, I'd be like, you know what? That was hysterical.
That better be the clip. I'm going to post that.
I'm scared.
That better be the clip.
I'm scared. No, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I'll fuck up a lot of things for me.
But yeah, I mean, that was a long tangent, but that's what I think Kirby needs to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, all of their pitching staff is, like, aside from, like, Gilbert, like, Bryce Miller even got roughed up his last his start. Brian Wu was, I mean, he was good today. Yeah. And Brian Wu has been good since coming back. And his dad is a confirmed baseball guy. Really funny dude.
Really?
Oh my God. He was in the stands at Nats Park and apparently he bought a seat 4 seats away from his wife, had a tall boy and a bag of seeds, and was just sitting there watching the game. He was just watching his son pitch, and he
I
was
love
not
that.
talking to his wife at all.
I love that. That is
Huge
awesome.
baseball guy.
That is. I want Brian Wu to win a Cy Young now just because of that. Like his dad makes me want him to win a Cy Young.
Yeah, that I thought was really funny. I saw it on Twitter earlier. I was like,
That's
that's
awesome.
great.
All right, we got to get this show rolling because we still haven't even gotten into the Astros.
Astros, King Tuck is still him. Shocker.
Yeah, King Tuck is still him. The Astros took 2 out of 3 against the A's, which is pretty much exactly what I called for. I said
It is
they'll
exactly
probably
what
take 2
you
out of 3.
called for. Yeah.
King Tuck continues to hit tanks. He had another one today, putting him at 18, leading the MLB. Yeah, guy.
Well, and you know, the one thing I said couldn't happen on the last episode was they let Mason Miller pitch in one game.
Yep. And the Reaper did what the Reaper does.
Again, shout out fucking Chris Karai.
Yeah.
That guy is so fucking good.
I want a T-shirt of Mason
Chris
Miller.
And, yeah.
No, I want a T-shirt of Mason Miller in a Grim Reaper outfit. Like, I want it so bad. That would be sick.
Someone has to get on that.
Someone needs to make that because that is awesome.
We could make that on like Breaking Tea or something else, and
Yeah.
I would buy the shirt that I designed if you did that.
Yeah,
because
I mean, you saw the image that I made very shittily. Obviously.
Oh, I saved it immediately because I was like, "That's perfect."
Yeah, it's Mason Miller. I'm sorry, it's the Grim Reaper, except for I copied and pasted Mason Miller's face with the A's hat on, which will soon be an Orioles hat, I'm sure. But still, I would love that shirt.
I would love that
awesome.
shirt.
So yeah, the Astros took 2 out of 3 against the A's. I didn't like Hader give up another home run today, but he did shut the door.
Who did he give it up to?
I don't remember.
Was it Daz?
Oh, it was Shea Langeliers.
Shea Langeliers has actually been pretty hot recently.
He's been hitting the ball well. Ronel Blanco had another good start today. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6
finally back from
strikeouts.
Suspension.
Yes, now he's at a 1.99 ERA.
I know who could be the Say No to Walks guy. We didn't do a Say No to Walks segment, but I'll just loop it in here because I just remembered it and I'm gonna forget it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But Braxton Garrett, complete game shutout, Maddox.
Shit.
In his start, yeah.
That was
after because I put him on the cold list and I was considering dropping him for my fantasy team, and he threw a complete game shutout, Maddox, against I don't remember who.
Yeah, hang on. I need a drum roll for this because that is definitely a say no to walks. You throw a Maddox, you get a say no to walks.
He threw a Maddox, and I had him on the cold list because of his ERA, and he was just like, you know what? I took that shit personally.
He heard you. Yeah.
Yeah, he took that personally. And you know what? I'll take it because he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
So, good for him. Awesome for him because I actually do like. I think he went. So he obviously went 9. I think he gave up
games, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts.
6 strikeouts. And he's never really been a strikeout guy, but
no.
I mean, good for him because I actually do like him as a pitcher. Like especially like the way he plays his stuff off is like so good for him. And
hang on.
I mean. Congrats to Braxton Garrett.
Braxton Garrett, you get the Say No to Walks feature of the week or of the day. 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, no walks, 6 Ks. I like it. It was against Diamondbacks, which they haven't been hitting anyways, but still. Can't take it away from you. That was awesome. That's awesome.
No, that is awesome.
Rarely see the Maddox anymore.
Yeah, it's very rare. But yeah, no, great for him. And good for my fantasy team.
Yeah.
So can't complain there. I did sit him. So
the other Say No to Walks possible. We didn't end up saying it was him because it just wasn't there. Verlander in Game 1 of the Astros versus A's series. Verlander went 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 9 Ks with no walks. In that same game, Presley got a hold and and Hader got a save. So yeah, they did what they needed to do because now it's going to be this week. It's going to be you versus me, buddy. Astros versus Mariners.
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Hey, this is coughing baby versus coughing baby at this point.
These games are probably gonna end fucking 2-1 every single time.
Probably. It'll be coughing baby versus coughing baby. And the Astros are only 3.5 back, and I believe it is a 4-game set, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a 4-game set.
Yes, it's a 4-game set.
So the Astros could take the lead, and I mean, let's be honest. Those two teams have the. So I sent that tweet to you earlier this week. Both of those teams collectively have the easiest strength of schedule remaining.
Yes.
The Mariners have the easiest. The Astros have the second easiest.
Which is good for them.
This, and I believe both of them only play the Phillies 3 times.
I don't know.
I saw the schedule. I think that the Phillies are the hardest team on both of their schedules. And, like, look, our pitching staff and our offense have both been fucking dominant, so I would expect the Phillies to try and take 2 out of 3 against both of them. I mean, we have, recently, because Gilbert's only been in the league for, technically he's a Super 2.
Yeah.
For arbitration purposes, we have tattooed the fuck out of Logan Gilbert. So, realistically, I would expect 2 out of 3 against both because they're both struggling. But otherwise, I think that division race could end up being a lot tighter than most people expected because both of them have been so bad this year.
All three. The Rangers have been bad. The Astros have been bad. The Mariners have been bad.
We just cooked the shit out of the Rangers. So, if we sweep both of them, I wouldn't be shocked because that's kind of how our team. I posted this on my story a couple nights ago, and no one is gonna remember this because Jesus, how many people listen to this?
I don't know.
Once we get big, we'll have people following us. But right now we don't. And I posted this on my story, and it was just the Philadelphia Phillies video yearbook because we do that every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think most teams do. It was just the title instead of last year it was Brotherly Love. The year before was something else, but Brotherly Love was because of the Trey Turner ovation thing, because that was a big part.
Yep.
And this year's one, they said the yearbook title is going to be "Fuck You," the 2024 Philadelphia Phillies video yearbook.
Seriously.
That division race could get really exciting coming down the stretch, especially with both of them having really weak strength of schedules.
And then same with the Rangers. Because the Rangers are still going to get back Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer at some point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to get tight. And
the thing is that it might be one team that comes out of that division at this point.
Right now, yeah, because none of them have put themselves in a position to be a wild card team.
Exactly.
And that's mildly concerning, but especially with the Tigers catching fire.
The next closest, the closest team to a wild card spot in that division is the Rangers, and they're 4 games back from a wild card slot,
which I wouldn't put them out of, because I would expect the. Shit, especially the Royals, I expect to fall off pretty hard.
Yeah, I expect.
I'm not gonna say they're not gonna make the playoffs because of how bad the AL West has been, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they did.
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely do not see 2 teams coming out of the Central.
Neither do I.
I just don't see it happening.
I think that's going to be one team, and it right now, considering how well the Tigers have been playing recently, I'm still gonna ride that Tigers pick.
Yeah, I'm sticking with it as well. I think Jack Flaherty is back, and I think that's going to be a huge pickup in that rotation. And now the lineup is starting to click. They scored 14 runs today.
They scored 14. Kerry Carpenter came in and was good, and I loved seeing him hit a nuke yesterday because he's on a generational heater right now.
He's been hitting the ball well, and then Torkelson's been hitting a few bombs again. So it's okay. The lineup is starting to click finally. I knew they're still not a great lineup.
They just needed a jolt.
Yes.
Because it's if you have Javier Baez in there, yes, black hole. Congrats.
Yeah.
That's an out. Everyone else, if they start hitting the ball well, you're all good. So, we'll see what happens. But I think that Tigers team could. I do want to see a packed Comerica Park in the playoffs, though.
Yes,
That
would
would
be
be
sick.
so
That would be
sick.
amazing to see.
And Tariq Skubal on the bump for the first game. I want to see that
I want to know
fuck
your
you
opinion.
fastball
I want-
right down the fucking dick.
I-
First pitch of that game.
All right. I want your opinion.
Yeah, go for
Right
it.
now, Baseball's Dead had the same exact debate. If it's the American League All-Star team, who starts first game, first inning?
You know what? I'm
It's
gonna.
got to be Mason Miller.
I think it's got to be Mason Miller.
I think it has to be Mason Miller.
Mason Miller
Tarek Skubal's a 2, but man,
Mason Miller has just been you have to have him. And you know what? I don't give a shit who the normal commentators are. You give Chris Carey and Dallas Braden that inning. I do not give a shit.
Yeah, that
that
would be
one
sick.
inning, give it to Chris Carey. Also, Chris Carey is a lot younger than I thought he was.
Yeah, he is. He is young.
He looked like that video I sent you of him and Dallas just like dancing in the booth. I was like, holy shit, he looks like he's 22.
Yeah, he's young. He's very young.
And he is great at his job. Give them that one inning.
That would be awesome.
That would be perfect because it's like, yes, I hate that they're leaving Oakland, but let them call Mason Miller's start of the All-Star game because please,
like
that would be so good.
It's just been such domination. I mean, every time he comes in, batters just look like this is a foreign sub. Like this is, I don't even know what to do with this. It's in 23 innings
you're gonna
pitched,
be behind everything.
And like then the time that you think you're getting the fastball, the fucking slider comes in, and you're just like, oh, I guess fuck me. Like that wasn't fun at all. Like batters are like looking at their bats like there's a hole in the bat after every time they swing a pitch.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, like it just disappears. In 23 innings pitched, he has 45 strikeouts. He is 1 strikeout away from striking out 2 batters an inning.
And most of the time he comes in the ninth, he strikes out the fucking side.
I know. It's just good morning, good afternoon, good night every time.
No, and that's when he gave that quote a couple of weeks ago on Foul Territory about the lights might not come back on. Everyone was like, "Oh, no, it was hysterical."
That was hysterical.
But I was like, as much as everyone thinks that that's like a shot at how shitty the facilities are, he might strike out the side before the shit's done.
Yeah, seriously.
Like he could have realistically meant that.
Yeah.
And I would have believed him.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, hitting against him, you might as well shut the lights off because it's basically like the same thing.
Game's over.
Mm-hmm. Like, all right.
I think that's it for the Astros.
Yeah. Orioles.
The Orioles, after being swept by the Cardinals, went into Chicago and swept the White Sox.
Good.
Good. Yeah, that's exactly what you need. You need a rebound series, and the White Sox were the perfect team for it, and they beat the shit out of them.
Yep.
I mean, their offense weirdly didn't score a ton.
No. They scored enough to win the games. They scored more runs than the other team.
And how do you win baseball games?
Score more runs than the other team.
Yeah. And Adley hit a tank today.
Deleted a baseball.
And against Garrett Crochet, who's been excellent.
He's been very good. Very good.
I mean, the Phillies tattooed Crochet, but not a lot of teams are crushing that dude.
Garrett Crochet has been electric this year.
And I was very skeptical about that because I know Crochet started as a reliever.
Yes.
And when they moved him to the starting role, especially when they gave him the opening day start, I was like, holy shit, what are they doing? And he has just been perfect. Not perfect, but he's been great.
He's got a 3.68 ERA right now, expected ERA of 2.18. Batting average against expecting.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
180. Like, yikes.
You know what?
His baseball savant is blood red.
You know what? I could see him leaving too.
Definitely.
And
definitely he's leaving.
Trade deadline move? Orioles? Add him to that rotation? I mean, no. Think about it.
Put him.
I don't think Cole Irvin's dominance continues, and with John Means hitting the IL, I would
Wait, John
love
Means is in the IL?
yeah,
I did not see that.
left forearm tightness.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah,
Especially because he's just coming off Tommy John too.
yeah. So if you're the Orioles, if you're trading
It's not a bad.
this trade deadline, I would try and get Crochet and Miller, because if you add Crochet to that and you call up Cade Povich, your 1 through 4 is now Burns, Radish, Crochet, and potentially
Grayson?
Povich and Grayson. You know what? I forgot to mention this like a couple weeks ago. Some Baltimore beat writer put out an article saying, should we make Grayson Rodriguez the closer? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No.
Grayson Rodriguez as
No.
a closer?
No.
Like, yes, he might throw 105, but that's your number one pitching prospect. Do not put him in the fucking bullpen.
No. I mean, he's literally got a 3.20 ERA right now. And in 45 innings pitched, he's got 51 strikeouts for a 3.48 FIP. Like, he's a starter.
No, he's a starter.
10.2 strikeouts per 9.
Yeah, Grayson.
He's
Gray Rod's
24 years old.
Gray Rod's a starter.
He's 24 years old. Like,
there were last year when the Phillies had Andrew Painter, who's 19. Before he went down and got Tommy John, because we're adding Painter to our rotation next year.
Yeah.
And Painter throws 102, and during Major League Camp in the offseason was making all of our hitters look like fucking idiots because he has a great curveball. His curveball is so wicked because his fastball is like 102 on average, and his curveball is like 78.
Jesus.
And he has a slider, which they said his horizontal movement on his slider is crazy. So, and it breaks so much that it makes no sense. And it's like an 82, 84 mile an hour slider. So he's playing a fastball, like a 4-seamer, a 2-seamer, a cutter, and a curveball, and a slider, and a changeup.
Jesus.
At 19. That's why he was in the running for number 1 pitching prospect over Gray Rod.
Yeah.
Because at 19, he's doing that.
He's got 5 pitches, yeah.
But JT caught him multiple times, and he said, dude, I had no idea how wicked someone could be until I saw him. Because I was like, and the dude is 6'9". Like,
that'll help.
Yeah, that does help. He's a gigantic 19-year-old who has no idea how big his body's gonna get, and he's just so filthy. And I was like, I cannot wait for this dude to be our 5-starter and just be the most nightmarish 5-starter of all time. You're coming out, you're facing essentially Spencer Strider with a harder fastball and a more wicked curve.
And he has 3 other pitches.
Yeah, and you're just like, I don't even know what to do with this, because it's like, that guy's not going to be a closer. He's a starter.
No.
And
that's what reining it back to the Orioles. Like, no, Grayson Rodriguez is a starter. Like,
he's a starter. Like, you're never moving him to the bullpen ever.
No,
but
don't even think. Even with what's his Kimbrel being your closer currently, you don't move him to the bullpen. You go get a closer. Either let it be Miller, Helsley, whoever. Like, they need to go get a closer, and that's literally the only thing they're missing on that team.
The thing is, the one thing that I think with the Orioles, since we're on the Orioles, you still have Bautista, who's just started throwing again.
Yeah.
So I would understand why you don't want to shell out a ton for a closer, but if you can get one that's still really good, like, it doesn't have to be Miller if you don't want it to be. Like, because
Ryan Helsley is a perfect fit.
Exactly.
Like, he's also been in the mid relief role before too.
Could you imagine that bullpen if you had Helsley and Bautista at 8 and 9?
And Cano? Like,
God. And Cano. So the game is no longer 9 innings. Now it's 6.
Yeah. Yep. And then
you
also those
have
6 innings, you have to face Burns, Bradish, Grayson, um,
Cole Irvin.
Cole Irvin, or John Means when he's back. Like,
And if they
or
trade
Dean
for
Kramer.
Crochet,
Yeah.
and if they trade for Crochet, then you have that. And Povich is nasty as hell.
Yeah.
So if they
Exactly.
call up that kid, like, who cares who they ship out for, say, they get Crochet and Miller? That game is now 6 innings long. And
Yep.
you have to figure out a way to score 5 runs in 6 innings on, like you said,
The best
we
pitching
can get
staff
into that right now.
possibly the best pitching staff in baseball.
It's like, what
Like,
the hell do you do? Because Bradish today, 7 no-hit innings, 11 strikeouts, 4 walks. Okay, 4 walks isn't great, but everything else, it's like, what do you do? Because that offense
exactly.
is capable of scoring like 7, 8, 9 runs a game.
Yep. It's, I mean,
Oh,
in
geez.
Cade Povich right now in the minor leagues, in AAA, he's got a 2.35 ERA. In 10 games started, 53 innings pitched, 71 strikeouts, batting. People are hitting 195 against him, and his WHIP is 1.06. Like, they could pull him up, and man, like I said before that there was a list that came out of the best starting rotations of baseball, and they had the
Orioles at 9.
Orioles at 9, and I was like, no, like, just no. Like, they're not the 9th best. They're top 5 easily.
Yeah.
Like, and in my opinion, you add with them all healthy, with Means and Irvin being healthy, that's the number 2 best rotation in baseball, in my opinion. Like, I struggle to see another one that's, well, Phillies have been pretty electric, so 3.
Yeah.
But regardless, like, so you can't tell me a team with Bradish, Burns, and Grayson as your 1, 2, and 3 is the 9th best rotation in baseball.
No,
You just
absolutely
can't tell
not.
me that. You're insane if you tell me that. Because also, now let's get into the playoffs. Okay, they're in the playoffs. They're going to go 3-man rotation. So you got Burns, Bradish, or Grayson you have to face. And that's putting Means, Cole Irvin back in the bullpen, and Kramer in the bullpen. Like,
and if you really need to piggyback them, those are great piggybacks.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then, like you said, if they add Crochet or they call up Povich, now you're piggybacking with those guys.
Yeah.
Which
they definitely should call Povich. Like, that dude is ready.
He's been dealing. I don't know, how old is he?
I think he's
24.
24.
He's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready.
He's ready. He's the same age as Grayson.
Yep.
Bring him up. Now you have a left-handed Grayson.
Yep. It's the Orioles. That rotation deserves some respect.
It deserves more respect than it's getting.
Yes. Also with Kyle Bradish, I'm gonna be the old man of the podcast.
Do it.
I hated that they pulled him out for the no-no.
I did too. No, I did too.
I understand it. I do get it.
No, I know because
over 100 pitches.
He was at over 100, and he's also just coming back from injury, so I understood why.
I did hate it, though.
But I didn't love it because he still has a no-no going.
Exactly.
It's
I
like,
hate whenever a pitcher
let him go out there. Let him go out there and give up the hit himself.
Yes, I agree. Like,
because
if he doesn't, he has a chance at history at throwing a fucking no-hitter.
Yeah, yes, I understood he walked 4, so it's like, yeah, sure. The chance at a perfect game is gone, and he just came back from injury, so fine. Look, I understand being cautious with him, but good God, he struck out 11. The guy is also a really good contact pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Let him get groundouts to your middle infield that doesn't let hits through.
No, exactly. It's
like just as a pitching coach, just go up to him and say, "Hey, how you feeling?" And if he says, "I'm good," say, "All right,
let him go.
Pitch to contact."
The way I always think about it, so put it as a different pitcher. If it was Max Scherzer,
you're not
on the mound.
You're not pulling
Max Scherzer, you're not pulling him, and
because
also
he'll strangle you.
Yes, if you go up to Max Scherzer and he's got a no-no going, and you tell him, "Hey, done," death is going to happen in that bullpen.
Yeah, and you know what?
Happening in that dugout.
And you know what? That's also one of the things that piss me off the most. Max Scherzer, as much as I despised him when he was on the Nats because he was so fucking good, the fact that he had a perfect game ruined because of a blown call. Oh,
Yep.
it's like it's almost as bad as the. It's almost as bad. It's not as bad, but it's almost as bad as the Galarraga one.
Yep.
Also, speaking of that, give Galarraga his fucking perfect game.
They already changed they've changed stats before. Do it again. Like,
yeah, the guy was out by a mile.
It
Give
wasn't
him
even
the perfect game.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, I don't give a shit about your. Oh well, the record books. Shut the fuck up. Give him his perfect game.
He deserves it. He earned that
also,
perfect game.
Hey, any pitcher right now, if you're feeling it, get a fucking perfect game. Do not let the most recent one be fucking Domingo Germán.
Yeah,
Jesus
seriously.
Christ. Oh
I
my
hate
god.
saying that the last perfect game of the season of the most recent perfect game was
Domingo
a man who
fucking Germán.
beat his wife. And
An
is currently
alcoholic that beat his wife, who's currently in
rehab.
He's in rehab again.
Yep.
God.
Yeah.
Someone, please throw a perfect game
Just
this
throw
year.
one, please.
Just one.
All right. With that, want to get into the weekend series?
Yeah. All right. So
let's rip them.
Yeah, in the weekend series, the NL, the Pirates took 2 of 3 against the Braves. Obviously, we covered Acuna's injury in the most recent game. They won that game. But yeah, so Pirates take 2 of 3. After that, the Reds swept the Dodgers. The Giants took 2 of 3 against the Mets. The Mets were Metsing all over the field.
Yeah.
Again.
The
Marlins took 2 against the Snakes, largely due to, obviously, Braxton Garrett's Maddox. But the Snakes are really in a lot of trouble. And then, obviously, the Phillies lost 2 of 3 to the Rockies. We don't win there. Whatever. In the AL, the Royals took 2 of 3 against the Rays. The Tigers took 3 of 4 against the Jays, and the Tigers' pick is looking better by the day. The Guardians swept the Angels in a 3-game series, and the Twins took 2 of 3 against the Rangers, and the Rangers are still looking rough, and it's getting worse. Doesn't matter the injuries at this point. You're falling too far behind. Interleague, the Brewers took 2 against of 3. It was a 3-game set, right?
Yeah, 3-game set.
Against the Red Sox, and the Yankees took 2 of 3 against the Padres, and they bludgeoned Yu Darvish. But
yes, they did.
That wraps up the all the series. I will quickly pull up the standings.
It right
oh, okay. Yeah, then you run through the standings.
We'll run through the standings. We switched it up on you this week. We kept you on your toes. He went to the weekend series. He even kept me on my toes because I was expecting to do that.
Yeah.
So let's start with the National League Central, my division, because we're going to switch some things up.
We're keeping you on your toes again.
Keep you on your toes. Milwaukee Brewers are 30-22 in first place in the National League Central with a plus 45 run differential. They are the only team in the National League Central with a plus run differential. After that, you got the Chicago Cubs, who are 27-25, 3 games back of the Brewers. They have a minus 2 run differential. They're 7-3 in their last 10, so they're skidding pretty hard. My Cardinals, 24-26, 5 games back. They are 8-2 in their last 10, but with
Cardinals
with a minus 42 run differential for the worst run differential in the Central. Yeah, not great. After that,
I'm going to be honest. I thought the Pirates would have had the worst run differential.
You would think.
Yeah.
And it's not. And actually, it's frankly not even close. Like, the Pirates are the next worst run differential in the National League Central. They are 25-29, 6 games back in the division. They're 6-4 in their last 10 with a minus 29 run differential. So much better than the Cardinals still, which is sad. After that, you got the Cincinnati Reds, who are on a generational skid. They're 23-30 in their 23-30 for the season, 7.5 games back, 5-5 in their last 10. With a minus 3 run differential. So they have a better run differential than both the Cardinals and the Pirates. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
After that, we'll go NL West. NL West, we got the Dodgers in first place. Big shock. They have a 33-22 win-loss record. They are 4-6 in their last 10. Lost 5 games straight with plus 69 run differential. Nice. After that, we got the Padres, who are exactly 500, 28 and 28, 5.5 games back of the Dodgers on a 6-4 in their last 10 with +8 run differential. Then you got the Giants, 27 and 27, also 500, 5.5 back. 8-2 in their last 10, though, but a -19 run differential. Then you got the Diamondbacks, 25 and 28, 7 games back in the division, 5-5 in the last 10, +3 run differential. So run differential better than the Giants. But records wise, too bad. So sad. Colorado Rockies are still a baseball team. They still have to play 162 games.
Yes.
And of those 100 of what they've done so far in the season, they are 8 and 34, 13.5 back, 4 and 10 in their last, or 4 and 6 in their last 10, and then a -74 run differential.
Holy shit!
Second worst in the National League.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad.
Now to the NL East. Your Philadelphia Phillies are 38 and 16 with the best record in all of baseball. 7 and 3 in their last 10. Have a +93 run differential, which is also the best run differential in all of baseball. They're doing it. There's nothing else to say about that. After that, you got the Braves that are 30 and 20, 6 games back of the Phillies, 4 and 10 in their last 6, with a +47 run differential. After that, we got the Nationals, who are 23 and 28, 13.5 back, 3 and 7 in the last 10, -18 run differential. CJ Abrams did hit a bomb, I think today or yesterday. I can't remember. I think it was today.
I think it was today.
Hit a bomb today. It's good to see him actually starting to swing the bat again. I want him to start to swing the bat again because he's on my fantasy team. Then we got the Mets. Meet the Mets. They are 22 and 30 this season, 15 games back, 3 and 7 in their last 10 with a -24 run differential. Not great.
Meet the Mets.
Meet the Mets. Yeah, they're not. You don't want to meet the Mets.
You don't want to meet the Mets.
They're not the greatest right now. After that, we got the Miami Marlins, who are 19 and 35 for the worst run differential in the National League at 78, but they're 7 and 3 in their last 10 and still 19 games back from first place. So, yeah, believe it or not, they are not making the playoffs. I'm calling it now. Mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
You heard it here first.
Dang, this chick is throwing 75 for Tennessee. Yeah.
Jeez, that's junk.
That's pus. God damn. That's bringing it. All right, so number 23 from Tennessee, you are the real deal. You throw fucking hard. Back to baseball. American League. Let's go with the American League Central because I started with the Central in the National League. The Cleveland Guardians. They are 36 and 17, leading the National League Central. They are 9 and 1 in their last 10 on a 9-game win streak with a +73 run differential, which is the third best run differential in all of baseball. In the American League. After that, we got the Royals, who are 34 and 20, 2.5 games back of the Guardians, 8 and 2 in their last 10, +79 run differential. So better run differential than the Guardians. They've been on it. After that, we got the Minnesota Twins. The Twins, I almost said something horrible. I
know what you were going to say, too.
Didn't do it. The Minnesota Twins are 28 and 24, 7.5 games back, 4 and 6 in the last 10, with a +4 run differential.
I'm going to be thinking about that the rest of the night. I might call them that in the group chat.
Moving on.
They drop the next series. I'm going to be like, damn, the Minnesota blank.
After that, we got the Tigers. They're 26 and 27, 10 games back in the Central, 5 and 5 in their last 10 on a 3-game win streak with a 0 run differential. So, their run differential is getting better.
They're picking it up.
They're picking it up. After that, we got the Chicago White Sox, who again are a baseball team.
They are a baseball team. Yeah, unfortunately, they are a baseball team.
They are 15 and 39, 21.5 games back.
Thank you.
Take a guess what their last 10 is.
It's 1 and 9.
1 and 9 on the dot, with the worst run differential in baseball at -116. Yeah, it is May.
Garrett
It is
Crochet,
still
get ready to learn any other city at this point.
yes, yes. Anybody on that team who's relevant at all, Tommy Pham, get ready to learn any other city. Like
Tommy Pham, congrats on being, I guess at this point, maybe a Diamondback again.
yeah, it's gonna be somewhere. It's gonna be somewhere. After that, we go to the AL West. The AL West. Take a guess how many teams have a positive run differential.
I'm gonna guess 1.
0. None of them have a
Oh,
positive run
Jesus.
differential.
Well,
They
you know
all
what?
suck.
Yeah. That's not overly surprising, but I was also thinking that maybe
At least one.
at least one. Like I would, if I was gonna guess one, if I was gonna guess one to have a positive run differential, I would have guessed the Astros because I know it's not the fucking Mariners, but the Rangers definitely not. We beat the shit out of them, so that wasn't gonna happen. But
What if
holy
it would have been the
shit!
Oakland A's?
You know what? That wouldn't
would
have
have
even been
laughed.
that surprising
I
because
would
it
have
definitely wasn't gonna be the fucking Mariners.
Yeah. So Mariners are leading the division at 28 and 26, 4-6 in their last 10, -7 run differential. Not great. After that,
Not
you got the
great.
Texas Rangers, who are 25 and 29, 3 games back of the Mariners, 3-7 in their last 10, -6 run differential. After that, the team with the highest run differential, the Houston Astros,
See,
24 and 29, 3.5 games back, 6-4 in their last 10, with a -4 run differential.
see, that's why I would have picked the Astros.
Yes, they've been coming along. They've been
Their
coming
their
back.
offense is at least an offense.
It is. It's a good offense. Then the pitching staff is a lot of question marks.
The pitching staff it's a pitching staff.
It's a pitching staff. They have to throw innings just like everybody else.
Yes.
After that, we got the Oakland A's at 22 and 33, 6.5 back, 3-7 in their last 10, -63 run differential for a team that had a positive.
A's. It's the Oakland A's and the Reaper, and that's it.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. And Shea Langoliers could end up somewhere also.
Yeah, he could. He was part of the Sean Murphy trade, I think.
Brent Rooker also might end up somewhere else.
Yes, Brent Rooker might be somewhere this deadline.
After that, we got the Anaheim Angels, because I'm not going to say the Angels.
Yeah, fuck that.
20 and 33, 7.5 back, 5-5 in their last 10, -36 run differential. So by run differential, they should be better than the A's, which is not shocking.
However, they are, again, unfortunately, a baseball team.
Yes, they are a baseball team, and they don't even have Mike Trout to make you want to watch anymore. I mean, I think Taylor Ward is actually having a semi-decent year.
Probably.
But and actually Joe Adell. Joe Adell's been good. He's been really good.
Joe Adell has been very good.
He's been very good, which is shocking because it's like 7 years after he was a fucking number 1 prospect. Okay, heading into the NL East. Unfortunately, the New York Yankees are in first place at 37 and 18. Yeah. They're 7-3 in their last 10 with a +92 run differential, which is the best in the American League. And I believe they're tied with the Phillies for the best run differential in all of baseball. After that, we got the Baltimore Orioles at 33 and 18, 2 games back of the Yankees, 6-4 in their last 10, +61 run differential. After that, it gets interesting. We got the Boston Red Sox at 27 and 26, still positive.
Shout out you, Jared.
Yep, I have a feeling he's still not happy.
He's definitely not.
They're 9 games back. They're 5-5 in their last 10. With a +32 run differential. Still positive run differential. After that, we got the Tampa Bay Rays. They are 10.5 back at 26 and 28, 4-6 in their last 10, with a -47 run differential. And then there's Cam's Blue Jays.
Cam and Yams Blue Jays. Thank God Yams doesn't pay as much attention. Cam being a Mets and a Blue Jays fan, it's like, look, man, I don't know why you picked the
Misery
Mets
twice.
Yeah, you picked misery twice. Like, you knew the Mets were bad when you picked them, too. Like,
yeah, so the Blue Jays are 23 and 29, 12.5 back, 4-6 in their last 10 on a 3-game losing streak, and they are -38 in run differential.
They don't have an offense, and their pitching staff isn't good enough to...
They have a Vlad Jr.
They won't soon.
yeah, they have a Vlad Jr. currently. Probably will not be there soon. Yep, that is the that is how the season has gone so far for baseball.
Yep.
Some of our predictions really good. Some of them not so good.
Okay, so the Rays one is actually looking like it's more likely to pan out than anything
except
else.
for I think I had them making the playoffs possibly.
I
Actually, no,
did not.
no,
No,
I
I
did
had
not.
I had the Jays making the playoffs.
Yes, we both had the Jays making the playoffs, which
And
they're not. They're not. They're not.
no, they're
They're not.
not. Hey,
They're just
Jays,
not.
congrats. You've been eliminated.
Yeah, you've been eliminated from the playoffs. In fact, I'm going to go through the list of who's been eliminated from the playoffs currently. It is
The White Sox,
the Miami Marlins, the White Sox, the
the Jays.
Rockies, the Jays, the Angels, and Oakland.
All right, so that's 6 teams.
They're eliminated. They're done.
You're already eliminated.
I wanted to say
the
Mets. I wanted to say the Mets too, but I was like, there's at least something there. Like, it's at least a couple
I mean,
guys.
at least they were already. At least they've tracked back that original statement saying that that the Mets, the Phillies, and the Braves have the most competitive. It's like you said, the Mets. Like that was that like in your contract? You had to say it.
I think it had to be. Had to been.
Because what?
Yeah.
The Mets?
Yeah. No. If you would have said they could compete for a wild card spot, that's a fair statement.
It's a statement.
It's not a great statement, but it
is a statement.
I don't know if it's a good statement, but I'll say it's not.
Well, considering how bad the NL has been, technically they could be right because the NL East could get 3 teams.
Exactly. That's where I was getting at. Like they could be the last team to make the playoffs. Sure.
Yeah. And they still might be, depending on how the West plays out. But
yeah, and I wanted to eliminate the Reds too, but they do have a negative 3 run differential, which isn't terrible. Same with the Pirates. I wanted to eliminate them. In fact, I want to eliminate the Cardinals too, but I can't.
The Cardinals have been cardinaling, so
they've been winning games. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 4-game win streak. So
there we go.
I mean,
it's not all doom and gloom on this podcast
it was
right
against
now.
The Cubs, the Orioles, which was fucking shocking. But then before that, it was the Red Sox and the Angels. So, yeah,
you gotta beat who's on your schedule, dude.
You do. But like, come on.
I know what you're saying, but still, you still have to beat who's on your schedule.
In fact, this week we're getting both of us. We're getting both our AL teams and our NL teams fighting. So we got the AL to begin the week.
Yeah, no, they flexed one of those games.
Yep. So it's gonna be AL to begin the week. So our Thursday episode is gonna be us shitting on each other about the AL.
It's gonna be the worst podcast ever.
Yeah, we're just
like,
gonna shit on each other.
Be like, wow, they fucking sucked. Like I'm gonna be like, all of those games made me want to cut my eyes out with a butter knife.
And then after that, our weekend series, our next weekend episode is gonna be Phillies Cardinals. Oh,
is it in St. Louis this time, or was it?
It is not. It's in the bank. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not excited about it, but I'm not excited about it.
Dude, we're 22-8 at home, so
I'm really not excited about it. But hey, we did sweep the Orioles.
You did sweep the Orioles, yes. You're not dead. Not dead yet.
You still got to play those 3 games.
CVP is a pretty hitter-friendly park, so
maybe Sonny Gray will pitch all 3 games. Might be our only chance. Might be our only chance. Let's see if that's even up yet.
I doubt the pitching matchups are up now. Yeah. I could probably predict it out if I looked at our pitching matchups for the week. Yeah, I'm about to do that just to see because, we got time, so fuck it. Why not?
Michaelis.
Oh yeah, that Michaelis. So you're gonna be. It's really, really well adjusted after that one.
Relax. It's not Michaelis game 1. It's Sonny Gray game 1. Which if it's Wheels versus Sonny Gray, I'm not gonna have enough lotion in this house. There's no way.
That's what I saw.
No way. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go get more tissues. Sonny Gray versus Wheels. Yes, please. Then that means it'll be game 2.
Depends on how we have them set up, but
it'll be Lance Lynn.
Okay, so it'll be Lance Lynn for you,
and then Kyle Gibson, game 3.
Nice. All right, so yeah,
I
right
don't like
now,
that at all. I mean, even at least the Gibson one, like he's left-handed, and you guys got a lot of lefties. So I'm like, hey, Rob Thompson will sit all half your lineup. So,
excuse me, who?
but I
What?
don't want to see Lance Lynn versus anybody.
Hold on, home. Oh yeah, no, okay, so I'm seeing it now. Oh Jesus, hold on, I need to go to because that'll be the start of June. Hold on.
Also, side
Later.
note, while you're still talking about that, we'll
Yeah,
also be excited because on Saturday it's Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev, and the diamond's gonna shine bright like a
I
diamond.
need a guillotine
Dustin Guillotine
I need
win.
a Dustin
First
guillotine
round
win.
Dustin Guillotine submission. Book it. Bet. Put it on whatever betting site. It's gonna happen. First round guillotine submission. He takes his belt. He retires on top. That's what's gonna happen. Calling it now.
Where the fuck? All right, hold on. I'm going to ESPN
You're
because
struggling.
yeah, no, the MLB website isn't like letting me click the freaking game, which is really annoying me a lot. All right, I'm on ESPN. See all because I'm trying to think because I
So
believe we're
tomorrow's
starting
Taiwan. Tomorrow for
Taiwan.
you guys
Yeah,
is Taiwan Walker.
that should mean Wheels is
I mean, should mean Wheels is the next day.
yeah, and then we have a day
Um,
off. Yeah, so Taiwan against Blake. Taiwan
oh,
against
what?
Blake.
But they have Sanchez pitching on Wednesday.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says right here.
Sanchez pitching Wednesday.
So does that mean
Uh.
Wheels
Okay,
on?
Walker, Wheeler, Sanchez, and then Nola, Suarez, and Walker.
So it should be Nola, Suarez, Walker for us.
Yeah, against Michaelis, Gray, and Lynn. So Suarez versus
What?
Gray is game 2, and that's on Fox.
Michaelis is going tomorrow, I think.
I'm just looking at what they have announced right now.
Whatever. We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, we will.
Which
And then
either way,
we invite Milwaukee here, and we go Wheeler versus Wilson.
we already had a series versus Cardinals versus Phillies, didn't we?
We did early in the season.
Early
It
in
went
the season.
2-3 to the Phillies.
So we will
No,
be going
2-1.
live
Yeah.
in close games in the last inning.
Yes.
We will be going live, only if it's a close game, because the other two were. There was one time we went live, and then Cardinals blew it. I remember.
Yes.
And then the other two games weren't even fucking close, so it was like, no point.
Yeah. All right. So exciting week coming up. We're playing each other in AL and NL, so that should be fun. But
it's gonna get violent between us.
oh yeah, well it always does.
There's gonna be a lot of hate touching. I had to throw one in. I had to do it. I had to throw one in.
If Chris ever listens and he hears that,
oh man, we'll have a listener for life.
yeah. I mean, he's already been shouted out multiple times this pod, so.
Yep. All right. Well, follow us on Instagram at the Baseball Diaries, on Spotify at the Baseball Diaries, on on Twitter at the BB Diaries, and then on I'm missing one. Spotify, Instagram, YouTube at the Baseball Diaries pod. One of the two websites we upload it to. How did I miss that one?
And then remember to follow Say No to Walks on Twitter.
Brought to you by Say No to Walks Media.
Don't worry, we're taking down John Boy.
Yep.
Everyone wants that to happen. So
we're the National League John Boy.
We are, which is a better version of John Boy. The National League's always better.
True.
All right.
Later, everybody.
Peace.